Coming up on the Empire Report, election drama begins early as the non-citizen suffrage movement reaches a fever pitch on the streets of New Austin. We'll have live coverage of the protests in progress. And
do planets have the right to limit the number of children you have? Find out how one governor is trying to change procreation practices forever.
heat wave. Learn how Centauri's slight solar expansion might mean the best beach season the Empire has seen in years.
All that and more on the next Empire Report at 2200 SET.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 32 of Around the Verse. I'm Sandi Gardner.
And I'm Ben Lesnick.
Last Monday we tried our first dev versus community dogfight, and I could not get in.
Turns out no one could get in. To put it bluntly, we had some issues with the matchmaking service on Arena Commander. QA has taken a look, our DevOps and engineering has taken a look, and they tell us that it was, I'm not making this up, a malformed proto buff which caused the issues.
What does that mean?
Well, it sounds made up to me. It sounds like something that would cause problems in the Enterprise. But the malformed proto buff error has been fixed with 1.0.3, which should be launching today.
So we are going to try the test again on Monday at 1 p.m. PST this time. So 3 hours earlier so that the Europeans can jump on if they can.
And we'll get more devs too, because we have folks in Austin and in Europe. But the thing we should stress is that with these tests, it's actually an incredibly useful amount of feedback we get even when it breaks. The fact that we were able to immediately isolate and correct this one error means that the game is improved because you all tried to play it with us. We regret not being able to play with you as intended, but you're helping make Arena Commander better. And
yes, you are. There were thousands of people trying to get in to probably take me down and Chris down and yourself down. I was trying to take you down. I couldn't find you.
Yeah, they're always trying to get me.
But we had a few people try and friend us. Did you get a friendship from Ramatino?
I got a lot of friend requests.
Oh. Please remember to lock in your PAX East and South by Southwest tickets. It's going to be a fun event. We actually had a meeting this morning about PAX East. So we're just setting up all the computers right now to...
Yeah, this is going to be your very first chance to play the Battle Arena or Battle Sphere. We're kind of going back and forth as to what it'll be called in person with devs, and there'll be all sorts of other cool activities for you to do. We are also trying something a little bit new with our social sites. We have an image that, as ticket sales go up and word is spread about PAX, we're kind of reducing the blur on it. So go out there, and we're calling it Help the Herald. So check that out at the RSI site.
Help the Herald.
Yep, yeah, because the Herald is decoding the image as we get closer to the event. And I'll tell you guys, it is an image that you will want to see.
Our 300 series test drive is almost up.
If you'd like to try out the 315, the 300, and any of the 300 series ships, you can do it for free in Arena Commander through tomorrow. We also have the 350R and the M50 on limited sale through the end of the day tomorrow. If you'd like one, go ahead and pick it up. We've got more physical merchandise here. And you're proud
Mustang
of this
Mouse,
one.
But I am quite proud of this one. Yeah, I grabbed this one from Chris's desk. Yeah.
We're
nice.
Really happy with how this turned out, and it's available in the Pledge Store if you'd like to pick one up.
It is. And
Shipping
I think
now.
Yes, it is shipping now. I think other people have been receiving theirs, so that's a good thing.
And speaking of physical merchandise, we are looking ahead to kind of the ultimate stage of Star Citizen's release. We are putting together the box art for the game. You want to tell them a little bit about what basically you came up with for this?
What did I come up with for the box art? Well, we have 3 promised boxes. So we have the one with the constellation on the front, we have the one with the Hornet on the front, and the one with the Freelancer on the front. So we decided that when you put them all together, for the collectors in you do not need to collect all 4, but the 4th one does not have any ship art, so we would like you all to vote on which ship you would like to see for the 4th box.
So check out this mock-up right now we put together. You can see we're using the 300 as the example for completing the box, but we want to essentially pick the Star Citizen community's favorite ship. So we've got a poll up on the site with all the different ships you guys have helped us create over the last 2 years. Pick your favorite, and that will make it into the official Star Citizen box.
And now it's time for news from around the verse.
Let's go to the Spectrum.
Hey, welcome back to beautiful sunny Santa Monica, California. I'm Travis Day.
I'm Darian Borlick.
And we're here to bring you some news.
So first on the agenda, we've got the ship formerly known as the Bulldog, now known as the Vanguard. It's passed the first tier and is now finishing up its concept polish. So I think Travis can explain what that means a little bit.
Yeah, so this is kind of what we outlined for you guys in the ship pipeline document last year. Basically, we have in the concept stage, there are a bunch of little stages that it goes through to become the final beautiful concept model that you see. So we've made it through the design phase. We've got the design for the base ship and the variants. Made it through the initial shape exploration. That's all been approved now. And now we're in kind of the final polish of the approved concept and making the mass model. So I think the next piece of news that we have for you is that the Constellation and Freelancer are getting a little bit of a rework and are in the white box phase. I think Darren's going to tell us about that.
So we kind of briefly touched on it last week that both the Constellation and the Freelancer are getting redone. The Freelancer is being spearheaded up here in Santa Monica, where the externals being done by our artist Daniel Kamensky, the internals being done by one of our other artists, Gage. So they are currently in the white box stage, so they're redesigning a lot of it, making sure that certain components line up correctly, making sure that the exterior size matches the interior size. Once they do that, they show it off to the art director, and then that goes through a review process with Chris before we move on to passing it off to our design team to make sure that they can set the ship up. So same thing with the Constellation. That's being done by our Austin studio. The externals being done by one of our artists, Josh Coombs. Internals being done by Chris Smith. Similar thing there, where we took a look at the ship, really wanted to make sure that it's the iconic ship that we've always felt it should be. So we're kind of going through making sure that all the sizes line up correctly, making sure the variants are all as epic as possible. So looking forward to seeing those two ships, especially the revamped Constellation in the future.
But I think another important thing too is that as we go through and redo these, we're moving them into the. I think we talked a little bit about the idea of moving to modular ship construction.
Yes.
And so we're also making sure that they are able to make use of and incorporate a modular structure, so you can switch out different components. It should be really cool.
Then the new turbine fans are really cool too.
Yeah.
So finally, we've got one that isn't human in design, so with the Xi'an Scout entering in production.
Yeah, so the Xi'an Scout is a ship I think that people have been seeing for a long time. It's been talked about for a long time. We're now taking it out of the concept phase and moving it towards actual 3D modeling and getting it ready for the hangar. So it should be a cool ship, although in talking with the artists, it's funny because it presents a lot of unique challenges with the way that all of the movement that it exhibits on the thrusters, on the wings, and then also when it goes into landing mode. And so there's a lot of different interesting, I would say, technical logistics to work out on that. So it should be a very fun ship for them to explore.
That, and also, since it's designed by aliens, like how does a human actually sit in the cockpit? And does it sit comfortably, or does it hunch over like sitting like an alien?
Yeah, because you saw back when we had the human pilots in the Vandal Scythe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did not look comfortable at all.
Wish we could post pictures of that.
Yeah, I feel like it was out for a while because it took us a while to switch them to Vandal. Anyway.
So that's our ship update from Santa Monica. So I'm Darian Borlick.
I'm Travis Day. On to the next crew.
Hi, I'm Andy Matthews, Global Character Lead for CIG, based in Wilmslow, Manchester, UK.
And I'm Drew Jones. I'm the project coordinator here, primarily focusing on characters here at Foundry 42, again in Wilmslow.
Today we're going to tell you a little bit about what we did this week, how we're approaching characters, and the cool bits of tech that we're using to do it.
Cool. So this week we've been putting a lot of focus on getting our armor sets updated to a reproportioned skeleton that we've recently been implementing. So Andy, do you want to just...
Yeah, we have a new base mail. When I came on board, we took a tact of using camera scanning technology to capture realistic people and realistic bodies to put into our game. Realism is what Chris Roberts wants, and that's what we're trying to give him. So with this, we interviewed some models, and we took them to a huge camera rig with 180 cameras. We scanned their bodies for use in the game. So the base mail that we're updating to is actually a real person with a real rig inside it, and the results are very, very promising. So all of the old characters are being repositioned to match with this new form, and they're all having a bit of love for the next FPS demo that's coming out soon.
Cool. Also this week we've been taking a look at the sort of base cinematic quality facial rig that we've recently received. So we're taking a look at how that's performing in Maya and also in Engine. So yeah, Andy again.
And this is where the cool bit of tech is. We have a camera rig here, as I'm sure some of you are aware, with 50 cameras in it. We use this to capture the likeness down to the individual pore detail of anybody we put in front of it. It's an amazing bit of technology, and the software allows us a fantastic level of quality and realism. And we have put that into the engine. We've also used the same technology to capture facial expressions, and we've sent this to a company called 3Lateral, who will be developing our facial animation system. They've recently delivered a rig for us to review, and the results are very promising. We're just reviewing this internally, passing it around to all the stakeholders, but hopefully you'll get to see something moving around soon.
Cool. Also this week, we've been taking a look at the
well, there's the FPS characters we've been looking at. Mm-hmm. We've been looking at some pipeline issues in terms of texturing, materials. How are we going to create the assets to look as good as we can and be as industry leading as I think we can? Some of you might be aware that there's a lot of Crytek influences and history. I myself am from Crytek UK. We're trying to maintain, or if not build upon, that level of quality and imbue our characters with that same love. That's what we've been reviewing today, is how to approach the texturing of our characters, the materials that we're going to be using with software such as Endu, Dedo, the Quixel Suite, Substance Painter, to find out what is the best way of giving us the depth, the realism and fidelity. Some very interesting bits of R&D going on, and the sculpts that my team are doing are coming on really, really nicely. I can't wait to show you guys. It'll be a good few weeks yet until you get to see the fruits of our labours, but it looks fantastic.
Yeah, another thing we've been discussing pretty much just before this call is a new attachment system, which I'm sure you'll be hearing much more about in the coming weeks and months. But so the way that the character is essentially made up in the game is going through quite a significant change at the moment, and it's all for the better. So we're using a system called item port, which will mean that any clothing or armor item is attached in a new way, basically. I'll let Andy fill you in on the technical information, but what it means is we can have much more fidelity in what we attach on a character.
And where we attach it.
Exactly.
That's the important thing. The system that was used on the original FPS characters was functional and necessary for there, but the items always had to be in the exact same place. This was a limitation going forward in terms of customization or just balance in gameplay and how many grenades does a character want to have. So Chris Roberts developed the item port system for ships, and we're trying to use the same technology on the characters. So we can literally wear a piece of armor, and that armor will come on with slots unique to that piece, so you can then put more items on top of it, whether that be a grenade or indeed a holder for even more grenades. It's a very interesting and powerful bit of kit that will work closely with game design, but also character customization. We can literally build objects on objects and layers on layers. It's a very interesting bit of kit. It's just coming online now. There are still some bugs to be worked out with skin geometry, but from what I hear, the results again are very promising.
Yeah, so one big focus for us on the character pipeline is making sure that we're serving all of the needs of the project. So we would never focus solely on one element of Star Citizen. We're trying to think of the bigger picture. So persistent universe, first-person shooter, and of course Squadron 42.
And Arena Command.
And Arena Command, obviously. Yeah, one thing is making sure that we've got that versatility in there so that we can support all modules. But we know that you guys will be really eager to start fleshing out an individualized character once you get your hands on the persistent universe element. So the input system will give massive benefits for that. So things from earrings to mobiglass to the entire outfit that your character's wearing plus armor. So really big win with this system, and yeah, we're looking forward to building some really amazing characters with it, and then you do the same.
And it's the functionality across all modules. The character that you'll have in FPS will be all in essence the same as the one you'd get in PU and Arena Commander. It's one character system to rule all of the modules, to give that level of consistency across the entire universe that we're creating. The pipeline is still in development. It's quite a complicated beast where we're doing FPS shooting, customization. We're doing hopefully body shape variation in with that. You name it, if there's a game with characters in it and it has a particular system, we're having a good look at it to see if we can fit it into our game. It's a humongous beast, but hopefully it'll give you guys the characters that you want to play with.
Okay, this is the UK signing off. Really looking forward to seeing how you guys react to the new developments with the character in the coming months. I'll see you around the verse.
It's been a pleasure. I'll speak to you soon.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Kendrick Gonzalez, the creative director at Ilphonic.
I'm Rodney Wool, the lead designer at Ilphonic.
This week we're going to talk about a little progress we've made over the past week and things we've been working on. One thing I'd really like to touch on, which you're going to be seeing upcoming real soon, and PAX hopefully, is going to be the grapple beam attachment to a pistol. I saw some fans actually saw some pictures leaked of early progress about this thing, but it's really cool, and I want to make sure people understand what it is exactly, because it can really get confusing to some people, or a lot of ideas can come out of one thing. Essentially what it is in anti-gravity like situations, it doesn't require much force to actually apply impulse to you or take you somewhere you need to be or whatever. So this gun essentially in this arena, built specifically for this instance, not for just all over the galaxy just yet, just right now in this arena only. You can use this thing that essentially pulls you like a magnet, and as you get closer to the surface, it'll like kind of dampen your speed, so you'll kind of slow down, so you don't go slamming into the wall, because you do start to pick up speed as you go forward. One of the big challenges with this has been nailing the effect down to make it look right, because we don't want something that's just like a big green neon light coming from a gun, because that just doesn't look very immersive. So we've been playing with like a very like kind of refractive magnet energy, invisible energy kind of thing, and whenever you get close, it's gonna kind of have like a repelling effect and stuff like that. It's been really interesting. It very much works like a linear hook, but if you're going a certain speed, like counter speed, it'll kind of like swing you a little bit, but it's not really like a rope, so it won't you can't like twist and stuff with it. It's very, very much so, get you from A to B, and that's one of the really cool things you'll see whenever you're floating around in anti-gravity type situations.
Yeah, and something else we've been working on is the ammo crates and the recharge stations. So for ammo crates, when you have combustion weapons that require bullets, then you can go and pick up extra magazines from them when you run out of ammo. And then for the recharge stations are for energy weapons to recharge the batteries and cells in your energy weapons. So once those are depleted, you need to go to the recharge station and fill up again.
Yep.
That's pretty much it for this week.
Yep. You'll be seeing those a lot coming up here at PAX. And, there's a lot more features to show and talk about with FPS. So this is just only a little tiny, tiny tad bit of it.
Hey guys, I'm Jake Ross, associate producer here in Austin for the Persistent Universe, and I've got with me today
Rob Renninger, technical designer.
And we've got a few updates for you regarding the Persistent Universe. So recently we've been working on a few items that will go in the shops you might see in the social module. One specifically going on right now is the defibrillator. It's a difficult word to say.
Say that 3 times fast.
Defibrillator. No.
Yeah.
So the social module will have 3 or 4 shops that you can go into and actually browse the selection that they have, and won't be any purchasing or inventory set up yet for the initial social module release. That will be coming soon after, but we will have the items there that you can view, and one of those will be the defibrillator in the medical unit. So look forward to seeing that. We've also got a few updates on the NPCs you'll be seeing. So we have One of the bar patrons being concepted by our concept artist Megan Cheever and modeled by Billy Lord, one of our character modelers here in Austin. And so he's moving on to skinning now, and also we have the medic character who's just finished the skinning pass by Vineet up in the UK. So thanks, Vineet. So Rob, why don't you want to talk about a little bit about the actions and stuff and setting up the NPCs to work in the level?
Yeah, well, right now we're currently getting to the point where we're going to transition over to the new AI system, which is coming online with the help of Moon Collider and some of our other contractors. So we're setting up a bunch of smart objects right now so the AI can actually be AI and walk around the world and find something, hey, I want to use that, and go down, sit down at a bar, getting in and out of bar booths, finding a spot on the dance floor that's not occupied, going out there dancing a little bit, bartender serving drinks, where's the bar tab, goes over, finds a bar tab, uses it, stuff like that. So it's a lot of setup, a lot of tedious work, but it's all going in to make the world kind of feel alive and really kind of starts making the AI take shape in the world. So it's nice to see it kind of come alive and come together.
A living, breathing universe.
Yeah.
So
it's coming together. It's a lot of fun, and it's cool to see some of our new systems kind of come online and start to really take shape in terms of like the development of the game, and not just kind of throwing things into the world. So it's pretty cool. It's all the stuff we've talked about is starting to come to life and come to fruition. So it's nice to see all the hard work come along.
Sounds good. Okay, cool. That's it from Austin. Thanks, guys. See you in the verse.
Thanks to all the studios around the world. We know you're working very hard.
Now, last week we put up the initial design post about the REC system for rental equipment credits in Arena Commander, and as you guys know, there's been a lot of feedback out there. We thought it would be helpful to have Travis Day, producer for the system, and Calix Renault, the designer, sit down and talk about it. So here they are.
Hi everybody, I'm Travis Day, and I'm here with Calix Renault, our lead designer of the REC system.
Hey.
Rental equipment currency, for those of you who don't know. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about the design, the thought process, and kind of do a bit of more of a deep dive on this feature. So anyways, Calix, welcome to the downstairs office.
Thank you.
And I think one of the first things we want to talk about, right, is the kind of the idea behind REC, right? The impetus for making a rental equipment currency system for Arena Commander. So what led us here is really the question.
Well, yeah, so REC comes to us because we had Arena Commander with all this great stuff we were making, and it was sort of locked to a lot of people. The Arena Commander bucks, the thing that you will earn and needs to be future-proof. We want this to be a thing that exists now and exists all the way through the unforeseeable future, when Star Citizen comes out, when we're doing major universe events way down the line, when we translate it all into Banu because we are now living actually in space. We want, this needs to continue to be a functional system even then. So we set to work. I sat down with you and a few of our other designers and hashed out, okay, what do we need from a system like this? Mm-hmm. We need it to be accessible.
Well, I think it's important to note too, I mean, we started down this path quite a while ago, so it's been a long time in ruminating, baking and steeping and coming up with a system that will really satisfy all these conditions.
It's been coming together as Arena Commander has been coming together.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the context of seeing people play the game and the perspective that gives has really been instrumental, right? Like you see people get drawn towards certain builds, get people drawn specifically away from those builds. I mean, missiles are a perfect example. Missiles were unbalanced, and people interested in playing the game actively avoided them. They actively avoided using them. People are willing to push themselves towards parts of the game in order to experience those. So it's up to us to open up those parts of the game so that you can experience those. And that's what REC is about. It's about being able to to have short-term goals of a rental system in which at any time you can be like, oh, I saw something cool that I like. I'd like to know how that works. Or maybe my shields aren't really working for me right now and I need a different build. I have a new goal. I'm going to put in just a little bit of effort to attain that goal. And now I have it. Now I can decide,
Do I like it? Is it cool or not? Did it
Yeah.
meet expectations? Yeah.
Exactly. That's been the biggest design factor in Rec this entire way.
So yeah, as you were texting me over the weekend, I think you've been following the community response to Rec very closely.
Yes, I've had a lot of great feedback from the community. I mean, everybody is so passionate about the game, and it's really nice to be able to get instant feedback about something like normally I would have built this system already before.
No, we would be like 6 months down development, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden we'd release this thing to the public with the game, and they'd be like, oh, and this Rec thing, it would be one of 1,000 things they were looking at when they first got their first look at the game. So it's kind of fun that each individual feature gets its own, like the fact that we're sitting here talking about it.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
even just kind of cool. Yeah. One of the kind of the primary points that I saw a lot of people gravitate towards was the whole idea of duration-based rentals, right? And I think that at some level I think some people got it, and I think some people were misunderstanding the intent there. And so I guess, can you explain a little bit more about how the duration system works now and kind of where we're going to go with it?
Yeah, so the duration system works that you rent a ship or a piece of equipment, and you have 7 days of use. When you log in and you go into play Arena Commander, you have used up one of those days. From that point on, you have 24 hours.
So you get like a 24-hour window.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the part of that is just a matter of us bringing this together alongside our back-end server. Like we don't have everything
minute to
already
minute, second
together.
to second data, yeah.
So we need something that is granular but flexible and
yeah. But then within this, right? Let's just say I rent an M50, right, and I want to go racing. So I go and I race it the same day I buy it. So I've consumed kind of one 24-hour cycle. Now I'm asked to go visit Ilphonic and the Austin studio and a bunch of other places, and I come back 3 weeks later to sit down to play. Can I still play with that
you
M50
have 6
that I
days
bought?
left.
Perfect.
You have 6 days left, and when you log on, it'll be there waiting for you, and you'll be able to use it and its equipment because it comes, again, with the loadout.
Oh, so they have all their default loadouts. So it's not like you're going to grind out a ship and then have to get every single freaking weapon that goes along with it. Okay, cool, perfect.
Yeah, it doesn't start with empty hard points. You don't have to put the engine on or and that was part of the calls. Like, where would you draw the line once you start making those kinds of calls? So it seemed like it's simple and it's upfront. So I figure, let's start there.
So no, I think it sounds like a cool system, and I think really a lot of what we talked about here today is, I think it's going to be a cool first pass. It leaves us the ability to do a lot of different things, and then as we move forward with the progress, I mean, we're listening to the feedback, so have the feedback keep coming in, and we'll keep looking at what we're doing, and looking at where we're going with it, and it's not a one-off. It's like something that's going to continue to grow and evolve over time, just like the game itself. So
yeah, I mean that's the whole point of being this open with the community.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. Well, cool. And just a reminder, I guess
I'm Calix Renault. I'm a tech designer here at Santa Monica.
And I am Travis Day here in Santa Monica. So thank you for joining us for our two-man symposium on Rec.
Thanks, guys. And if you'd like to see more of that interview, we have it broken out as a separate piece on our YouTube channel.
Now let's go over to Will You Be My Valentine for this week's MVP.
Hey everybody, I'm Assistant Community Manager Will here to bring you this week's MVP. We're actually going to be changing up MVP a little bit, and this week I'm going to be bringing you guys an organization. Currently the largest organization, Explore does a fantastic job of recruiting new members and keeping them up to date not only with Star Citizen news, but with Explore news as well. They have a monthly magazine that they include interviews with their organization members, in-fiction lore, and ads as if they were in Star Citizen. On top of that, they're a peaceful organization. Last year when they came by for a visit to the CIG studios, they were more interested in asking questions about science and research rather than combat. So if you're new to Star Citizen or you haven't joined an org yet, I'd check them out. Also, I didn't want to leave you guys without an MVP this week. So this week's MVP goes to Scorpy for his thread called The Medicine Behind Star Citizen. In the thread, he goes pretty in depth about the different medicines and how we're going to be healing people within the game. And if you're looking for something a little bit more fun, Wolf Sizen has a thread called The 5 Different Types of Pirates. He breaks down pirates into 5 different categories, so stop by and let him know what kind of pirate you are. So thank you very much, everybody. That's this week's MVP.
Thank you, Will. That was not at all disgusting.
Now let's go over to Ryan Archer, who interviewed the Austin art team.
Hi guys, I'm Ryan Archer. I'm the marketing artist here at Cloud Imperium Games based in Austin, Texas. And I get the privilege of being here with our character art team in Austin. And so let's go around the table and kind of talk about who you are and what your title is and job here. So, David?
David Jennison. I am the lead character artist here in Austin. I'm responsible for getting the characters as good as they can look and that they will work within the awesome universe that we're building.
My name is Billy Lord. I'm here in the Austin office. I'm a junior character artist. Responsible for translating her concepts into 3D and making them reach the quality bar and beyond of what we've set.
My name is Megan Cheever, and I'm the character concept artist here in Austin. I make the concepts for these guys to make all beautiful for the game.
So, Austin has now become the Persistent Universe studio, which means that we're looking at the bigger picture now. We're looking at things that are going to affect the game from Arena Commander, the FPS, on to everything else. I know one thing you guys are working on is character customization right now. Mm-hmm. How is that coming along?
Well, we're working closely with the UK studio because we're having to meet a lot of the same needs as they are. The differences were, we're persistent. We have to have more variety. We're not as specialized. So it's really been a matter of working with design and kind of figuring out the balance between variety and kind of uniqueness of particular pieces.
So what I know, Star Citizen is a very realistic game. I know that's one of the things that CR is always talking to us about. Mm-hmm. We're pushing for better visualization, better reality. How does that affect the idea of character customization?
Well, probably the first thing is fidelity, because we're, texture resolution, things like that are higher in this than certainly any other game I've worked on. So there's certain things you used to be able to, working on a game with lower fidelity, you can kind of cheat. You don't have to sculpt in as much detail on like the high resolution and things like that. It's kind of like working on a photograph that's close up. If you're a photographer and you're working on, like close-up photographs versus from far away. So naturally, it takes a little bit longer to make most assets. You just have to be more careful. But certainly the realism, it's just a higher bar because everybody naturally compares it to life. So yeah, I would say just from the asset perspective.
And I think it's a situation with the customization on across the board that all the character artists here as well as the UK, everything has to be exactly like he said. It's like working with photograph. You want the leathers to look like leathers, you want the cloth to look like cloth, denim to look like denim. So when you mix and match these things, you can immediately tell what it is and you can immediately see that it's right. And we don't hit that uncanny valley of, well, it looks like silk, but the texture is denim. You really want it to look right. And I think the fidelity has been an exciting challenge to explore and hit that mark.
And how's that affected the concept stage?
From a concept perspective, it's making sure everything makes sense, like seams make sense, and that all the jackets can close and all the shoes can buckle or lace up like how they're supposed to and how they would in real life. So it's paying attention to a lot of real life clothing and accessories, so that's the way that we're keeping it pretty realistic for these guys to model out. And you should see some of the seams and threading that these guys put in. It's pretty ridiculous.
You should see some of the reference she pulls, man. I have never in my life seen some outfits like what she finds.
Right, right.
We come to work jeans, t-shirt, button-down shirt, whatever. There are people out there in the world look literally like something you see out of Star Wars. You know, where it's coming across and it's like a big plastic thing coming up.
Right.
I don't know what the designers are doing over across the pond.
It's all project runway.
Oh, it's terrible. The world is frightening when it comes to fashion.
I know you guys are doing great work. I'm glad to be here and be able to see you guys working. And
we're glad to have you.
Thanks. But so I can't wait to see what you guys come up with in the future. And I know the fans are going to be very excited to see stuff coming out of Austin in the next couple of months and over the year. So I know the fans would love it for me to tell you guys thank you for all your hard work. You guys are awesome. We're making the best space game out there.
Best damn space game.
Best damn space game. Thanks, Billy. And so also we want to say thanks to the fans, because without them, we couldn't be making this game.
Yep.
And so thanks, guys.
Thanks for your support.
Remember, a true pilot can feel the HOTAS flowing through them.
You mean it controls your actions?
Partially, but it'll also obey your commands.
Ha! Funky joysticks and new age mouse pads are no match for a mouse and keyboard.
You don't believe in the HOTAS, do you?
Kid, I've flown from one end of Broken Moon to the next, but I've never seen some all-powerful, mysterious joystick that controls my destiny. It's all a lot of simple nonsense and tricks.
I suggest you try it again, Sandy. Only this time, let go of yourself and trust your instinct.
But with that, I can't see.
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
I call it luck.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
Look, good against a pinata is one thing. Good in the engine, that's something else.
Big thing today is what weapons we've got available right now in the game. And that breaks down into two primary types of guns, either energy weapons like these Bulldog repeaters I'm firing now, or our ballistic weapons like the tarantulas I'm firing here. The big difference between these two is how often you can actually be using them. So the energy weapons are going to have unlimited ammo, and they're mostly going to be restricted by how much heat or how much power you've got left on your ship. Whereas the ballistic weapons, they're just going to have as many shots until the ammo runs out, but they also have the nice benefit of being able to punch right through your target shields.
So the ammo ones are more powerful.
Well, they're both equally powerful, they just have the different situations to use them in.
Okay.
So energy weapons are going to be great while you're at distance to a target, you're trying to get in close and you want to break down their shields. And then the ballistic shots are going to be great when you're up close and you're really wanting to put damage on their ship, and then you can just, shred apart their armor.
Okay, and can I have these two types on all ships, or?
Absolutely. All our mounts are going to be able to take, energy and ballistic weapons, so you'll be able to pick exactly the kind of loadout you want to take. If you know the kind of fight you're going into, you'll definitely be able to, outfit your ship to make sure you're ready to take on that specific challenge.
And that's it? There's only two types of weapons?
Well, those are our two types of guns. We also have, missiles. We're going to have, neutron weapons later on. But right now, for what's available in Arena Commander, it's going to be the energy and the ballistic weapons.
Okay. So which keys are for which weapons?
Well, that will depend on what weapon group you have everything set to. So right now, my Bulldogs and my Badgers are set to my weapon group 1, and that's on my right click here.
Okay.
And then the ballistics are set to weapon group 2, which are out on the wings, on the left click.
So one's right click, one's left click, and if I have it on the joystick?
If you have it on the joystick, it'll be your main trigger for fire group 1, and you can actually choose to remap where you would want those buttons on the joystick. So to change your key maps, over in control binding, so advanced controls customization, here flight weapons, fire weapon group 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then whatever your joystick or device of choice has mapped for these individual buttons, and then just select which one works best for you.
And so when I run out of the Badger ones,
Well, so the Badger's always going to have energy to it. It'll just need some time to recharge. So right now you can see the percent going down for each of the energy weapons. And when that hits 0, it'll take a little bit more time between each shot because it has to keep recharging. And all this while the heat's building up on both those sets of guns.
so what happens when I hit full 100% heat?
It will start to have a chance to have a fault. It can just stop firing, or you could risk blowing up the weapon on your ship, which would be even worse.
So I shouldn't really be consistently firing.
Yeah, when the guns have overheated, you probably are going to want to get out of the fight for a while.
Okay.
And then with your ballistic weapons, they'll keep firing until they've run out of ammo, and every single ballistic weapon right now has 2 full loads of ammo, so you'll get 1 reload, and then once you're out of ammo, you're out of ammo for the moment. And there's 3 main kinds of ballistic weapons in our game right now. We've got weapons like the tarantulas that are equipped onto the Hornet right now, and these are single-barrel ballistic cannons. Then we've also got a ballistic repeater like the Sawbuck, which is a 3-barrel, higher rate of fire machine gun. And then we've got the Mantis and the Tiger Strike, which are the big, massive chain gun weapons that just can shoot ammo for days. Each of those is a little bit different because unlike the energy weapons, ballistic weapons actually are firing around. And so each of those will have either a 20 millimeter, a 25 millimeter, 60 millimeter rounds, and that'll change how each weapon handles. So with 103, we needed to do some work to the sledge mass driver that comes equipped on the 325A. And to do that, we actually gave it now its own distinct 60 millimeter ammo type so that it'll actually be shooting faster, traveling further, and doing more damage than a normal 60 millimeter round, which is what's loaded up on these tarantulas. Yeah. All right, so this should wrap up the basics of weapons, and just keep practicing this, and then the next step is going to be our targeting systems.
I like it. May the force be with me.
Nah, I'm shaking my boots. If you guys liked the segment with the artist in Austin, we also have a longer version of that available on YouTube.
The Orion concept sale starts tomorrow, and I also hear there's a little game.
Yes, we've got a mini game from the guys at Turbulent, similar to what they did for the Reclaimer. So check into the site tomorrow to learn all about the Orion. It's a pretty cool new ship, especially if you're interested in mining. We are putting up a design document about mining from none other than Tony Zurovec in Austin. He's going to be walking you through how mining will work in Star Citizen so you can make an informed decision if you decide to purchase an Orion.
And our first scheduled letter from the chairman also goes out tomorrow.
Yep. Instead of doing these every $1 million, Chris is going to do one basically every month, kind of letting people know what he's thinking about Star Citizen. I am personally looking forward to finding out.
But that's not all. We also have an inside CIG piece on our mocap shoot, and for subscribers we have...
Jump Point!
Yay!
Should be a crazy day for Star Citizen backers, and you're all going to have a lot of fun.
I love David Ladyman. He's always on time and always delivers.
And meanwhile, why don't you have fun with this art sneak peek?
Thanks everybody for watching, and to subscribers for making this show possible. We will see you next week on Around the Verse. Nailed it.
Are you this mean to everybody else when you're filming them?